It's February 5th, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl or thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky. Yes, it's still a mouthful. No, I'll never get used to it. It's time to get in the weeds. A wonderful Wednesday to everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's a lovely day here in Toronto. I hope the weather in Ohio is just as nice, maybe even a little better than that. Jeremy Lambert is here. I'm back. Did you miss me?
No.
Oh, really? But like, you did a show without me. That I figured like you'd maybe.
I do a show every Tuesday without you. You're the one who goes on a different channel. You know, you got the weekly or the monthly taste of the main channel on Monday. And you're like, I'll just go on the main channel again on Tuesday. So no, I didn't miss you because you were off having a rendezvous elsewhere.
Gallivanting with Andrew Zarian.
Yeah.
I like the term gallivanting. Listen, when Andrew Zarian calls you, you pick up the phone. You answer that call.
Fair.
He's been a pal to us, so he needed us. He needed me in a moment. Rich was sick, so who better to fill in for Rich Stambolian than the guy who looks like Rich Stambolian's Canadian cousin? Rich Joel Stolian.
I don't know.
I'm on the air and I'm going to pick up this phone call from my wife. So can you just cover for me for a second?
No, this sounds awesome. Can you like put her on speakerphone and so we can all hear what's happening?
I think this has to deal with the car we're renting. Give me a moment.
Oh, who cares? You can have these conversations here on air. Joel's a coward. You know, when my mom calls, I put her on speakerphone and get content out of this. Joel instead just sits there, mutes himself, mutes everything, so we can't get any content out of this. Instead, I'm just going to bury him for not allowing us to hear this conversation and
so, hold on. Here's why I definitely am glad that I did not put that on the air. That was my wife calling to ask for the last 4 digits of my credit card number.
That would have been fine.
Not something I would like to put out into the open. Senior nerd asking any mouth readers here. Oh, nobody found that out. Don't bury me. I came and I helped out. I was a helpful soul for Fightful. I was the guy. I was helpful. Like when Rob Wilkins steps up and does stuff for the channel. We don't bury him for that. We praise him for the work he does.
I bury everybody. I tried to. This is a joke, everybody. I don't think Luis is in the chat. I was gonna fire Luis on Monday.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he had 2 strikes against him on Monday. If he had that 3rd strike, out of there. So Luis is very helpful. I like Luis. He's running Fightful Espanol as well. Doing a great job. He always leaves stuff in our news chat, our staff chat of like, hey, this might be a news item, this might be a news item. Like, very helpful fella. So during Raw on Monday, Michael Cole lies to the people and says, hey, yeet got added to the dictionary because of Jey Uso's title win. Merriam-Webster has added yeet to the dictionary because Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. And Luis puts that in the chat. And he puts the tweet from Merriam-Webster that they tweeted yeeted. And I'm like, Luis, this word got added in 2022. September 2022. That's when they add the new words, by the way, like end of the year. This word got added in 2022. Michael Cole, don't listen to him. You know, Michael Cole heard from a guy who heard from another guy who saw Merriam-Webster tweet it, but you can't believe everything you read online. Don't listen to Michael Cole. He doesn't know anything. So I had to correct him on that. Second part I had to correct him on. I had to correct our pal Cam Hawkins as well. Jim Johnston?
Oh, I knew this one, yeah.
Back? WWE? What's going on? Luis puts that in our staff chat as well. And I'm like, Luis, no. Netflix captioning probably just didn't care. Probably didn't listen. Probably didn't recognize it was a new theme. Probably didn't have updated info. So what they did was they just took the old info, New Day, New Way. I understand that might sound like it might be the New Day, new theme because it is New Day, New Way, but like that was the name of their original theme and they just haven't changed it. And it was done by Jim Johnson. I said, no, Luis. This is the original theme. This is the title for the original theme. It has nothing to do with Jim Johnson. 2 strikes on Luis Polito. One more, you would not be hearing from him. He'd be like a member of No Quarter Catch Crew. Just disappeared.
Did they do? I thought that's what they did with the family, not with the No Quarter Catch Crew.
Well, they did it with like multiple people on No Quarter Catch Crew, right? Then who was the one guy that they, Damon Kemp.
Oh yeah, he got taken care of, but that was because of the family.
Right. I'm saying he would be like a member of No Quarter Catch Crew.
Gotcha. Yeah, and disappear. But I mean, the family made other people disappear too. Is kind of my point. Remember Two Dimes?
Sure. Yes, but my point was the family may have done it, but he was still a member of No Quarter Catch Crew. I got my reference correct. Hashtag Joel is wrong.
No, we're both right in this particular instance.
Now you try to correct me. You try to be like, well, isn't a member of the family? No, I had my reference correct. The family helped out, yes.
Well, they were the ones.
My reference was correct.
Yeah, but both people, like the family took out someone on their side and on No Quarter Catch Crew. So like you're right, but so am I.
Yeah, I never said you weren't, but you tried to correct me.
You literally tried to do a hashtag Joel is wrong just now, and you were wrong about that.
Hashtag Joel is wrong.
Shut up. Espanol saying Espanol. He's actually trying to say C-SPAN Joel. He's trying to send me over to the political. C-SPAN Joel. That's the C-SPAN Joel version of politics.
I took like 4 years of Spanish between high school and college.
I don't even want to know how that would have sounded with you trying to speak any Spanish at all.
I was halfway decent like when I was in class, but I've not used Spanish since then. And this was, of course, 15, 20 years ago. I don't know how old I am. So it's awful. It's terrible.
Hold on. Are you trying to like you were good or like you were Peggy Hill? Like what are we getting at here?
I don't understand that reference.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm sure the class will. Anyway, you can you can always brush up on your Espanol. No,
I don't have time for that.
Tell me about it.
That's why I have to keep Luis around because he translates all this stuff for me.
Does a good job at that too.
Oh, Luis is great. That's why I didn't want to have to fire him. But
when you do things wrong, that's right.
Right.
Can't be listening to Michael Cole. He is not a reliable source. Cam Hawkins is, but not when closed captioning is involved. I actually think the closed captioning thing may have been an auto caption issue because you posted under the tweet the New Day theme that was being referenced, and that was that a Jim Johnson, that original one? No, that wasn't. That was also Def Rebel. The one that you mentioned, the one that you sent.
Def Rebel was not around a decade ago.
Listen, buddy, time is a flat circle at this point. I don't know what I did yesterday, but it wasn't. So Jim did that original one that Cam was referencing that he didn't know he was referencing.
Okay.
Right. So I think that there's an auto, like it basically just listened. It heard It's a New Day, like the new sampled version, and they took it from that one, and that's the one that went in because that's the original. That's the original sample, and then it goes into the new song by Mega Ran. So I think maybe it was a Netflix captioning, not a captioner, that caught it. Anyway, this is semantics at this point. Don't bring Jim Johnson back to music in WWE. He doesn't let the man. He's 72, 3, whatever. This is not a knock at older artists. This is not an ageist comment. Believe me, there are a lot of older artists that I love watching perform. He is not the voice that like encapsulates WWE theme music in the future. Let him have his past. Let him have his Stone Cold and his Undertaker themes and all that stuff. Let him have his Attitude Era. Y'all can look back on the Attitude Era and be like, oh, remember all those themes that you knew the first note and you knew exactly who it was. Yeah, those days are over. He's not coming back. Find new contemporary artists who actually give a shit about wrestling, by the way, because Def Rebel don't. They are being paid to just come up with music. They're a music house. There are other people out there, thousands of artists who could be chomping at the bit for this opportunity. Jim Johnson's old ass ain't the one to bring back. My 2 cents.
Why are you a hater on Jim Johnson?
Because I think he had his time. I respect the hell out of it, but it's not his time to come back.
Okay.
That's it. I think that there are a lot of people who will take reference musically or inspiration musically from the work that he's done and apply that to a more contemporary wrestling theme style. There are so many creators out there. We see them, we interact with them, whether they're making videos or making music, whatever, that do this so much better. The people who clown on Def Rebel do a better job at Def Rebel than Def Rebel does, because they at least have the idea. And I'm sure if you tell them, okay, now make it serious, I think a lot of them would do a good job with that.
Every theme should just be, the name of the person and then generic rock track 3. Because that's what every theme is.
That's right. That's
Damian Priest. Bow, 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 bow.
You're just using the horn. You're just using the horn.
That's Damian Priest's theme, right?
Probably.
If you said if I did that and was like, that's Damian Priest's theme, people are like, yeah, sure, that sounds about correct. Feels like it is.
War Raiders.
What's that? That's not War Raiders music.
It's now. It's called Feeding the Ducks.
Feeding the Ducks?
Yeah, now we're feeding the War Raiders.
That's not War Raiders. You've at least gotta make it match who this is. Who is the theme for this? This is like Sexy Time theme. Like, I don't know. It's like Viscera theme almost. Like Mark Henry. Yeah, Zarian's got it. Porn Raiders is correct on that one.
It's a good video. We'll use this one for Mac and me. Oh, I think it was okay. It's called Feeding the Ducks. I just think they were a letter off. That's all.
Feeding the fucks?
You were close to the next letter.
I'm confused.
Feeding the dicks.
Oh, feeding the dicks. Oh, okay. Feeding the fucks, I feel worse.
That's true. Well, at least we're 12 minutes in that we can get away with this. Oh, man. Damian Priest.
Why is all the stock StreamYard music like mood music?
No, I get it. Yeah.
This is, again, not Damian Priest music.
No, let's try somebody else. I don't know. When you were like Damian Priest. It's just that
version.
Over.
I made it like a rock version.
Oh man, I don't even know who. I don't know. Bailey.
Okay.
This is just a bastardized version of New York.
This sucks. This could be a Def Rebel theme, honestly.
This bit's gone to hell already, and I couldn't even plan for it. Feeding the dicks. Cyclops better than Wolverine with a super chat. They hire the Pointer Sisters to do all WWE music. They came out of hiding. They came out of hiding to congratulate Beyonce when she won the Grammy. They're like, now we're not the only black women to win a country album Grammy. And I was like, the Pointer Sisters, AEW superstars, the Pointer Sisters coming out of retirement.
Allegedly, we haven't seen. Yeah,
it's been a month. You're right.
Yeah, we haven't seen them in a while. We don't know if they just dropped that storyline.
Par for the course. It's okay. They'll be on an episode of Collision that was referenced as a pay-per-view. Hey, by the way, if you haven't already, you can go ahead, leave a thumbs up on the video. We're 12 minutes in. 14. I probably could have started with that. Leave a thumbs up. Get the Pyro and Ballyhoo going. There you go. That's when Jim Johnson comes back, because when the Pyro and Ballyhoo start, and they start running around the ramp, they get a drone camera. Let's do that. And of course, subscribe to us here at 5 Overbooked. The show is now 5 days a week, 10 a.m. Eastern. Jeremy is here all 5 days. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. SP3 is here Tuesdays and Thursdays. programming note. I'm not here this coming Friday.
Yeah, are you here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? 2-show Joel out here.
There's a reason why I wasn't here on
running from the grind. That's the reason, right, everybody?
I have to go see my mother. Thank you. I have to go take a car trip and go see my mom. So I will go do that.
Oh, good son Jones over here. Gotta go see his mother.
That's right, Taz. Hosting your show here on Play.it. And also go ahead, donate a super chat. Any get your questions on the air. We appreciate that. Yeah. Me skipping a Friday to miss a predominantly AEW show. That's true. I'll still be on the TNA post show on Thursday because we're driving Thursday to get there. Friday I'm busy. Sorry, pal. Busy. Maybe I'll drop in.
If Andrew Zarian called, you wouldn't be busy all of a sudden.
I mean, if Andrew Zarian wants to fill in for me on In the Weeds on Friday, then he is more than welcome to come in here. I know he's here. I know you're here. Come on, Mr. Porn Raiders. Let's go. You can get in on it.
Oh, I have breaking news that you don't care about, but I don't care.
I'm here for the uncaring news.
The Milwaukee Bucks are trading 3-time All-Star Chris Middleton to the Washington Wizards for Kyle Kuzma. I know you don't care, but there's your basketball update. Since we spent an hour and 15 minutes doing basketball yesterday, and
really do an hour and 15 minutes talking about basketball?
Yeah, we had Brian Zillum on from PW Torch and also from Mavs Moneyball, and we were talking about the Luka Doncic trade. So yes,
my God,
who cares about wrestling? That's stupid. Basketball is awesome.
Is that why I got the golden $sign notification?
Did we? For what?
I don't know, but I appealed it and they gave it back.
Oh, we didn't use any footage, so I don't know why.
Probably some language. Probably SB3 coming on and trying to do a sermon for the first 15 minutes of the show.
Yeah, that is true. He did do a sermon for the first 15 minutes. He might have cursed in that first.
Yeah, I actually know he caught himself at one point. He was going to say shit, and he did the P word. He did poop instead. So shout out SB3.
Trade is official. Tomorrow's In the Weeds, because tomorrow is the NBA trade deadline. Expect a lot of NBA talk as trades come through. So,
can you talk about the other stuff and talk about hockey instead?
Nah, hockey trade deadline's on for like another month. I don't know why it's so late in the season. It's kind of stupid, but
because it's when people know how far they are to getting a playoff spot.
So yeah, that's lame though. Like it doesn't allow for. It doesn't allow for teams to integrate new players and stuff. I don't like that it's so late in the season. It used to be around the same time as the NBA trade deadline, and then it's literally like a month later now. The Four Nations thing is next week. Don't care at all about that.
Listen, man, all I know is that for some reason the Ottawa Senators are within earshot of actually getting a wild card spot, and that is strange to me. They're playing good hockey, and I'm scared of that.
Allegedly.
Hey, I mean, they lost last night, but I think the Ducks won. That's usually how it goes. The Ducks win, Sens lose. That's just the way it goes. But anyway, what else we got?
Rumble update.
Yes, please.
Everyone knows that it was decided on, well, it's technically decided on Saturday, but I can confirm, just want to let everyone know we are faithful and honest people around here. I made a $40 donation to American Heart Association. That is what Jules requested happen. So I did that. I sent the confirmation to her, so she knows about it as well. And then Eric B. I don't remember which way it is, but he requested a Eddie Guerrero figure from Ringside Collectibles, and
neat.
Has been purchased, and he has the tracking information for that. So everything has been taken care of. And I put this out there because I don't know, maybe the winners don't want to know what's been announced. Jules left us a super chat, so she knows. But I also like to be honest and transparent with the people, so you don't think we're conducting shady business around here. Our practices are on the up and up. The winners have been informed. The winners know what has happened with the money, and they are happy with everything. So there you go. For the second straight year, we have done good cause with the ITW Rumble.
Congratulations to the winner. Congratulations to the winners. This was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that the winners got what they wanted. We appreciate the donation from Jules to the American Heart Association, and of course, Pierre getting a figure from Ringside Collectibles was not something I would have even thought of. So that's pretty neat that we're getting to do that. Oh, there you go.
Me neither. I was very Hey, yo, Eric's in the chat. When I saw the ringside collectibles thing, I was like, oh man, am I about to like have to purchase some giant autographed figure or something? But no, it was within the spending limit that we had agreed to. So I appreciate that. And yes, it is been ordered, and he has the tracking info. So it was, not gonna lie, ringside collectibles, you know, because it's a different shipping info than billing info, because it's shipping to him, but it's, you know, my card. It was a pain, giant pain. Like it wanted, I even unchecked the box. Oh, shipping address. Like I unchecked that. And still when I filled it in, it tried to like auto correct it and everything. I was like, can you not? I'm trying to ship this somewhere that is not what the billing address is. Can you just like let me live and go forward as I plan to do? But they made it a little bit of a hassle, but got it all done. That's all that matters.
It's okay. Next year, I assume the winner is going to ask for a Mercedes Monet waifu pillow, and you'll just have to buy it.
A waifu pillow? What is that?
It's a full-sized body pillow that some people like to enjoy having.
Can you buy these? Is this a real thing?
Man. These are things you can buy. It's nothing I've ever purchased. The closest thing I've purchased is something like that is a pregnancy pillow for my wife 3 years ago.
I feel like you have purchased this, because why would you bring it up?
Oh, because someone brought it up in an interview I was watching. I was watching Linus Tech Tips on Fallon from a few weeks ago, and he mentioned it as a joke that didn't really go over well. I am a man of culture. I know a lot of things. I just don't participate in all of them.
That's like the 30 Rock bit. Didn't they have the James Franco pillow? Right?
I'm sure they did.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a 30 Rock bit.
Yeah, Grays gets it. When Grays wins, getting the Dominic toilet paper.
CM Punk had a good joke about that. He's like, people should throw toilet paper at Dom because he's the shits.
Good stuff. CM Punk rules. We're going to talk about him in a little bit because he is on the thumbnail along with two other gentlemen. Let's touch on a little NXT, shall we? And then we can go back to the Raw stuff. And
why? Why are we?
Because we're now a 3 or 5 day a week show.
Okay,
so a few things to talk about from NXT. Just a couple. Yes. Let's talk about the whole thing. I don't really.
No, I agree. We got to talk a little bit about NXT. Here's my issue with NXT. Where the fuck is Thea Hale?
So the reporting is she's been injured. There's been a back injury. So let's be a little kinder to that. But yeah, Sean did update some report. Not on Select, but over in our Discord has been mentioning people asking, and he says that he believes that she's injured. There's been a back injury.
I don't care.
I would love to see her. I would love to see her ripping it up on TV. Absolutely.
Get her on television.
Best I can give you is super duper NXT Heritage Cup rounds champion Lexis King, who is no longer doing NXT Heritage Cup championship defenses in a traditional way. They are now one-on-one matches. So really what they were doing when they did that playoff between him and Tony D, that was actually just a match. That's what they're going to do moving forward. No more rounds, no more rope breaks, no more pure rules. The NXT Heritage Cup is now just a cup. And I'm not talking about the one you put over your genitals when you don't want to get kicked in them. Thank you, Lexis King. But it doesn't matter because out comes Fandango, who, thank the Lord, I'm watching him come out and I'm like, what are we doing? What is this? And he comes out and he says, I'm not that guy. I'm JDC from the system and TNA. And I was just like, oh, good. He said it. He's no longer the dancing loser. Now he's just the weird oddball loser. Good for him. JDC is going to face Lexis King for the Heritage Cup on an upcoming NXT. Is it next week or is it in a couple weeks?
Next week.
Good for them. If this brings in the system to NXT, I'm going to be cackling. Just if we can get Alicia Edwards just for 1 week, being obnoxious and saying, do you want to know something? That's all I want. I don't care about Moose or Edwards. I don't care about Brian Myers coming back would be funny just for the WWE style. But like the system coming into NXT, it feels so wrong and so right simultaneously. Good to see JDC pop up on NXT. People love the Fandango.
Okay.
I'm so glad you have your thoughts on that. I saw you do the dance.
It was a cool moment, but then he was JDC. I was like, I don't care. Be Fandango, dude. Be the guy who beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. I don't care about this system, dude.
I should
Sorry.
be on a boat right now, beating its namesake.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Sorry. Do not care about JDC and the system. And that Lexis King promo was rough.
Awful. They just went right
Rough.
to I'm a heel now. Not even they don't care anymore. They're just like, I know what I am. Like, did Regal just say, like, oh, forget it, he's on his own now? And he just walked off.
Yeah.
Like, what was this? It was not very good.
Yeah, it was kind of rough. So it wasn't great. Just wasn't great. Sorry.
At least we know the TNA stuff is still happening. That's about as good as you can get from that whole exchange. Charlotte showed up on NXT, confronting Bayley, Julia, and Roxanne, and then later Cora Jade showed up. What do you think of Charlotte tonight versus Monday? I didn't get to talk about how that went, but Charlotte tonight or last night versus Charlotte on Monday, was there much of a difference or much of a pivot? How'd you feel?
She was better because the crowd wasn't trying to just boo her and step all over her moment. I like how they still like flash the 4, like, you know, they do the secretive little 4. Pops me.
Yeah, it's so secretive. Make sure it's on camera.
It's still funny. It still pops me. It was better. You know, I like that she said, I think it was the digital exclusive. Maybe she said it in promo as well. But she's like, I might not pick my opponent until the night before WrestleMania. Good. That rules. That's when you should wait until. Why would you do it so early? That's dumb. You have the power. Just wait. I want to see someone actually like take advantage of that and wait until close to the time instead of doing it, 2 months out. Just do it the day of. The opponents don't then, because here's the thing, if you do it the day of, you fuck over the other people as well because they can't be booked into anything. Like, no. You got it. Like, it's a great heel move. It's like, nope, you can't book Julia for anything. You can't book Tiffany for anything. You can't book Rhea for anything. Because what if I want that match? So they can't be booked. And then you pick their opponent, and then the other people just get left off the card completely. I guess if it's 2 nights now, but you can just wait until night 2. Like, nope, I'm waiting until night 2. That's when I pick my opponent. It's a great heel tactic. Charlotte should totally do it.
Waiting so long that all the women's titles are faced on one night of WrestleMania. And then she gets to be benevolent, Charlotte. Be like, look what I did for women's wrestling. 3 WrestleMania women's title matches on one night of WrestleMania card.
Even better.
I did that. She should lean into that. That would work for me. But also, it's not going to work that way. I'm sorry.
Well, I know, but it would still rule if that's what she did.
Of course. She definitely had a better night on Tuesday than she did on Monday. I don't know what they were expecting on Monday when Charlotte came out, especially trying to tell the story of 2 Rumble winners who went through so much adversity and had to thank the fans for this moment. She was the wrong person to do that with. Jey Uso, who we'll talk about in a little bit, it made sense for him to go on that ride and be that emotional. Charlotte was like this almost expected victor for the Rumble, and it's Charlotte Flair. Like, we know what she's done. We know of her accolades. We know what she's dealt with. It sucks that the injury may have made her actually feel this way in real life, but to me, that felt like that was to me a media interview. That's an interview she would have done sitting down either on the show or like with Chris Van Vliet in a long form sit down where she talks about what happened during her time off. And like, people pull that up and they talk about it later on, but as a promo, to me, it felt so disjointed from what your other Rumble winner was saying, who was being completely like honest and forthright. And like, you saw it in his face. Charlotte was not that. So she's trying to give this babyface promo. Cleveland's not having any of it, rightfully so. It's Cleveland. They hate everybody. It's great. I love it. But also, like, she's not really, I don't know. I thought Monday was really lackluster. And then Rhea having to like pretend she's little sister when really she's come so much further over the last 5 years. It's incredibly strange what they were trying to pull off on Monday. Rhea Ripley has this bona fide star, presentation, and she's the women's world champion. There is no reason why she should be thinking like, wow, Charlotte, it's so good to see you. I missed you, mommy. Like, it just doesn't work that way. I felt Tuesday was better for Charlotte. But now we have to go to Friday and hopefully turn the heat up on whatever her and Tiffany might look like.
Yeah. Yeah. I said it yesterday and I'll reiterate it here. I don't mind that they tried to do the Charlotte Flair worked her way back from a knee injury and had missed an entire year. I don't mind that at all. Like, there is a story there. I thought Charlotte trying to do that wasn't necessarily wrong. Where they went wrong was the vignettes on SmackDown leading up to this, where they showed her in her fancy lifestyle and she's talking about, I've won everything and I'm going to do it again and I'm the top girl and all this. That's not sympathetic underdog. Oh, look how hard you had the road back. That's, yeah, I got a knee injury. That sucked. Kept me out. But you know what? I'm still the fucking best. I am the absolute best. And yeah, I've been rehabbing and stuff, but I've also been on this yacht and sipping my wine and making a bunch of brand deals. And I've been watching everybody and they still ain't on my level. That's heel stuff. So the presentation was just wrong. It was completely wrong. And the vignettes didn't do her any favors. I think if the vignettes had been, she posted a good vignette on her Instagram where she talked about, she showed like running in the knee brace. She showed off the knee brace and all that stuff. She talked about working her way back. If that would have been the focus of, it's been a year, don't know if I'm the same. A lot has changed in a year. I got a lot to prove. I got a lot to prove to myself. I got a lot to prove to the division. What I accomplished in the past doesn't mean a whole lot right now because it's a whole new landscape, but I'm coming back for it all. Then she might have garnered a little bit of sympathy when she tried to cut that promo. Not saying it would have been foolproof because crowds are going to react how they react, but they set her up as a heel and then they tried to do sympathetic babyface and fans weren't buying it.
Yeah, they weren't. And this was, I'm curious as to what creative thought this was going to look like because they obviously knew she's coming back from injury. It's her first appearance at the Rumble. That was going to garner a babyface reaction. People were going to be excited to see Charlotte again. She came back. She's good. And then she wins the Rumble. I don't know if they thought that they were going to get a babyface reaction on Monday out of that. And Charlotte doesn't know to pivot in the moment or didn't want to pivot in the moment. So something got weird in interaction. So again, that's why I'm curious what happened backstage, creatively speaking, that started Charlotte as let's go out on Monday as a babyface. And then by Tuesday, they were like, nah, that didn't work. Let's just go back to what we know. And it was the right choice. It was just Monday was like, how did you miss like that? What did you expect was going to happen given the way you've been presenting her up until the Rumble? The only difference was that people were excited at the Rumble to see you. So it was really
she also, like, she came in the Rumble at number 27 and a whole lot of adversity that she had to fight through.
Yeah, it's not like she came in she didn't come in number 1 through 5. She came in at the most, what we've been conditioned to believe is the most advantageous spot in the Rumble, the 27 spot. It's like it used to be, oh, more people have won from 27 than anyone else in the Rumble history. Like people remembered that as a number. And then they presented her as this overcoming the odds babyface. It was very weird for Monday. Xenar was saying Charlotte is a natural heel, and she is, and it works. No one complains about Charlotte when she's just being a dick. They're like, oh, it's Charlotte #bow down. Oh, Charlotte, LOL, Charlotte wins, and it's like, great, you should feel that way because that's the way that the heel Charlotte character should be. When it's like, LOL, Charlotte wins and she's a babyface, now you got a problem. And so it looks like whatever they did, hopefully they pivoted because by Tuesday she was back to relatively normal. Curious about Friday. Curious about the interaction with Tiffany Stratton. They have not had one. I feel like they need to look at each other and talk about how similar but different they are without giving away too much right now.
The Tiffany interaction is going to be very interesting because the fans want to cheer Tiffany, but she's also kind of a heel. The fans want to boo Charlotte, but she's kind of playing a baby face. It's going to be a tough balance because I don't know if Charlotte can cut down Tiffany of like, you're just a lesser version than me. You wouldn't be in this spot without me. Like, I paved the way for you. And I don't know if Tiffany can kind of fire back the same way of like, I'm just a better version than you, and your time is past, and now I'm the shiny new toy that is ready to take everything. I'm very curious of what the actual material is between these two, because they're both heels theoretically. I guess Charlotte's a babyface, but Charlotte is just such a better heel and is going to get booed. Tiffany's getting cheered, but she is a heel. Like, she is, for all intents and purposes, a heel. So they got to be kind of careful with the material, and they kind of got to expect Tiffany's going to get cheered and Charlotte's going to get booed.
So I'm still of the mindset that Nia Jax, unless they announce she's in the chamber or has a chamber, unless they announce she's in the chamber, to me, the match at Elimination Chamber is Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. And you solidify throughout the storytelling going into chamber that Tiffany is the good guy. You need to make this her moment where she overcomes the bully Nia, who's been bullying Tiffany this entire time, blah, blah, blah. Yes, she got cashed in on, but now they have to turn it on its head in a way that makes you believe that Tiffany did it for the right reasons and she overcame the odds and now she's going to do it again. You kind of have to go there. You can run Shades of Grey with Charlotte and Tiffany up until that point, but by Elimination Chamber, assuming you're doing Tiffany and Charlotte, you have to have those two firmly on other sides of the ledger. One has to be a good guy, one has to be a bad guy. And I feel like Nia Jax will be the conduit through which they get there, especially with Tiffany.
Possibly. It's very possible. And we'll see if that's where they end up going. It's not Nia still on SmackDown, technically. Transfer window is,
Bailey was the one who came over. It wasn't Nia. Nia just appeared.
Yeah, everybody just crossed over, and the window closed, but they were still announcing deals and all this stuff.
So. Oh no! The deal was done before the transfer window was officially.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you heard it. You heard it here first.
That's what I'm saying. So they could easily retroactively say, "Oh, this deal was also done before the transfer window closed."
I would love if they just fake that whole thing. Like, yes, the transfer window was closed 4 months ago. But 4 months ago, before the transfer window, I signed this SmackDown talent, and they've been working covertly on SmackDown ever since. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Fatu.
Like, that's a real thing, not 4 months later, but that's a real thing in sports of, the trade deadline is passed, but there are still deals trickling through because they were at the league office and they where the paperwork wasn't, was backed up because of everything. I remember famously, it was Jamie Langenbrunner. Remember him? He got traded. Yes, it was Jamie Langenbrunner it was Devils and Stars. I'd have to go back and look at what the trade was. But the trade deadline was at like 3 p.m., let's say. This deal didn't come through until like 7 because like the league office was so backed up. And like ever since then, everyone has held on to there could still be deals announced like hours later, and like nothing gets announced. Maybe like 5 minutes past is the latest you'll get a deal announced. But because of that one trade, there's always you never know, could be 7:00 at night, a deal could come through. So that's basically what it is with the transfer window. Just like, 48 hours later, deal comes through.
That doesn't, the free agent market doesn't exist in WWE. Neither does the transfer window. It's all fake. Ryan Lambert asking, would people be more upset if Charlotte had entered at number 1? No, I think if anything, they would have supported the idea a little bit further, at least on Monday, that she overcame the odds to get there. Again, because of the way she's been presented. Like, I understand the Fridays before, she was on the yachts and on the jets, and it looked like she was, that person. They could have gotten away with an extra week, I think, if they did number 1 and they made it look like she overcame all this adversity and they played it off as such. I think they would have bought themselves at least a week.
Not at number 1.
Okay.
Not at number 1, because number 1 screams try hard. Number 1 screams, hey, look at all the adversity she's overcome. Look, guys, look, she was number 1 and she overcame it. And there's backlash when it not backlash, France. There's backlash when it comes to that. There's got to be a middle ground of like number 12 or something. Then it's like she enters early enough, overcomes enough, and still wins. Number 1 is throwing it in your face and trying a little too hard of, see, guys, she overcame all of this. And that's where fans are like, nah, we ain't buying that bullshit. So no, not at number 1. There could have been a world where she did overcome and you could play that, but number one is too try hard.
Okay. I understand that logic. I love this pile driver finisher. Wait, don't close that window. Talon's coming through there. I want someone to come through and just be like, boy, it's drafty in here. It feels like the transfer window's open. And then they just do a whole stupid, this is how this team got over this to Raw from SmackDown.
What if they like smash through the window, like literally, like
Oh,
they
get the hammer.
Glide down. No, I'm not hammer. No. They're rappelling and they swing through the window. Like that old bit. They're like,
Yeah, what if it's
come through the transfer window?
Stone Cold Steve Austin comes through with his giant glass shatters. I'm coming through transfer window. No transfer window. Can we close this window? No. No, that's the transfer window. It stays open.
You're wasting electricity. The heat is running. Close the friggin' window. It is cold in here.
Shut up. Oh, that's a Simpsons reference for the close the door. You're letting the heat out. Oh god, yeah, the transfer window will never close. They can tell you it's closed, but it's never actually closed. Someone asking in the chat, is the Drew McIntyre thing real or an angle? As it's real. The incident was real. What comes of it will be TBD. LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre on Friday in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. That's what I see happening, and I'll cackle if it does. Oh my goodness! What else from NXT? Someone had mentioned the funny promo or the moment when Bayley goes backstage and says to Ava, "I want to match with that bitch," and Ava says, "Which one?" Oh, that's gonna be good stuff. Bayley and what? Cora Jade. She's just get everyone. Do them all one by one. Looking forward to
Cora Jade is who she's facing. That's fine. Like it's fine.
It'll be fine. The show next week is looking like it's coming together. Trick Williams is not going to be part of the world title match, as it turns out. Looks like he and Eddie Thorpe might be heading to a strap match of all things. They got a little interesting with that. Meanwhile, we still have to sit through A-Town Down Under versus Obafemi for the NXT Championship at Vengeance Day. Buddy, that is not the main event. The main event is very clearly Bayley, Julia, and Roxanne. That's the way it should be. If they change that, I will be shocked and annoyed. But the women's championship match should be absolutely the headliner.
There's no way they can headline with this men's title match. There's just no way.
But I'm curious with this new NXT 4 that are coming in. They gave you the silhouettes of the 4 people, and the internet's pretty much figured out who they are. Which, like, shout out to the NXT super duper fans because they
have they.
Yeah,
I must not be online enough. Okay, so what's the rumor?
So cover your ears if you don't want to be spoiled, or at least go into the rumors. But the 4 people that are supposedly the NXT 4, given the shadows, should give you enough time. Shaquan Sugars, who was Lucky Ali in DPW. Cutler James, who's also known as Jonah Nasenbaum. He was on the Next Gen series on Roku that they did. And then Keanu Carver and Dion Lennox running the show, being the leader of that. Which I can see. I like Dion Lennox. Last time we saw him on NXT, he had just done the stuff with Obafemi, and he was getting frustrated that he can't get a win. So, he took off his glass. Like, he stormed off, basically. And this is who he's bringing in as his own crew to, like, wreck shit in NXT. I'm all for it. Looks like it could be fun, but those were the 4 names that seemed the most likely given the silhouettes from NXT. I like to see it. Something different. People are already like, oh, who are these people? And it's like, well, welcome to NXT. 9 times out of 10, you're asking who are these people? So, like, what's the difference? They're just giving them a bigger packaged introduction. Go for it.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool little teaser at the end. I don't need it to be any type of hacker nonsense. Like, don't do that, because I don't feel like those gimmicks actually go very well. Even if the intentions are good, even if the ideas seem good on paper, they just don't seem to go very well. Oh, we'll see. It's all going to be in the follow-up, right? The mystery and everything is fun, and it's cool to speculate about that kind of stuff. But if they're not followed up as a serious threat and they're just beaten or they're just dismissed, doesn't really matter after that. So we'll see what the follow-up is.
Yeah, right in the chat saying, so it's not Solomon Crow. Well, no, the fun thing about that is he's too busy getting beat up by Mance Warner and Steph DeLander every week on the other show that he actually appears on allegedly. And yeah, this is Retribution 2025. Let's go. They're hacking the streams.
I mean, Retribution could have been cool. Not with the way it started and the actual idea behind it, but like there was something there that you could have done. But this is what I mean of the follow-up. They just treated them like a bunch of dorks and no one cared by week 2. And then Mustafa Ali comes in to try to give it a little bit of life, and they just got treated like dorks and no one cared. So the follow-up is what matters here. They're good at doing the mystery teaser stuff to get people talking, and it's fun for people, but it doesn't matter if there's the payoff and the follow-up isn't any good. Not necessarily the payoff, because the payoff is typically going to be someone maybe out of left field or you haven't heard of, or you're trying to debut a new group or something like that. It's the follow-up. If these guys come in and they're presented like threats and they're taking out top people and they actually have a purpose and a mission and they stick to that, cool. No problem with them. But if they're just going to come in and Obafemi is just going to wreck them in 2 seconds, then who cares?
That would be not ideal. I would like to see if Deion Lennox, again, I really like that if it is Deion Lennox and he's leading this crew, he told Obafemi, he told him, one day I'm going to face you for that championship. And like, if that's the way that these 4 are going to help Deion get to that level, then I'm all for it. You're trying to make stars. You're trying to make wrestlers or superstars, as they call them, and get them to the top level. And if this is one way to create at least one with 4 of these guys, I'm all about it. Let's try something different. Just don't make them hackers. And if you do, you debut them with the 4 people you aren't actually going to debut. And then a couple of them have to be like short, obese men with chainsaws. Remember that? Cutting up the ropes.
Yeah, that ruled.
Spray painting.
I just need, all I want, throw the cinder block through the already broken door. That's all I want.
And it would happen at the PC too, which makes it even funnier. Oh shit, they're back again.
Just throw the cinder block through the door and then throw another cinder block through the already broken door. That's all I'm asking.
We didn't listen.
Just to pop me. That's it. I don't care about it. It's one little thing. It's 2 seconds of TV time. Just do it.
It's so funny. Oh, anyway. Yeah, I need NXT Retribution 2025. PW Insider on Tuesday, they were reporting that the night 1 main event for WrestleMania this year might just be CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. That gets you thinking quite a bit, given the fact that none of these men currently have a title around their waist. Makes you think, do they need a title around their waist to get it to night 1 main event? Or is it big enough on those 3 names alone? And also, what happens to Jey Uso, who will be challenging for 1 title? Cody Rhodes, who will be putting his title on the line? Gunther putting his, of course. I don't know who Jay's going to face, but we have an idea. Is this a night 1 main event? Punk, Roman, and Seth on its own? No titles? That's it? What's the story to you?
It is a main event. It's 100% a main event. You can't tell me this match is not a main event. I don't think it should be a main event without a title. I know what I pitched on Monday. I pitched it with a title. I pitched the 2 triple threat matches. I pitched it with both of them having a title on the line. I don't think this match without a title should be a main event, because if it is, then you're taking away the Rumble winners as a main event. You're taking away, because Jay and Gunther is not going to main event over Cody and Cena. It's not. And Charlotte and whoever is not going to main event over Cody and Cena. Cody and Cena is your other main event. Let's say, for argument's sake, this match, Roman, Punk, Seth, locked in, night 1 main event, no title. The Rumble winners are not main eventing in that case. And you're looking at another year where the women don't main event. And there's already been a lot of pushback on that. And you can kind of forgive it 2 years ago because the tag team title match was so strong, and there was at least a little bit of we haven't had a tag team match main event since WrestleMania 1. There were at least titles on the line. Obviously, the story was there. There was reason for that tag team title match to main event. Last year, you had The Rock. All right, there's your reason. The Rock is there. You understand it's the main event. This year, no title. I understand the story is very strong. I'm not going to argue against the story of this match, but no title in this one. And you're going to put this the main event for another year over the women. Not great optics. Just not great optics. So I don't think it should be the main event without a title. If you get a title on it, if you make, don't give me the Tribal Chief Championship. If you put a title on the line here, I'm all for it being the main event. I think it should be the main event. I think it should be the main event of night 2. I think it will be the main event of night 2 if there's a title at play. If there's no title at play, the optics aren't good with it being a main event and then no Rumble winner and no women main eventing.
Just to put things into perspective for people who may be questioning why a championship match isn't in the main event of WrestleMania. You mentioned the main event for WrestleMania 1. I've got a bunch that were not actual championship matches. And
Okay.
I'm using this more so that people know that it's not the first time and this won't be the last time. WrestleMania 8 was Hogan and Sid. That was supposed to be Hogan's retirement match, quote unquote.
But that had Sid, so it
yes.
should be the main event all the time.
It was supposed to be an excuse to get Hogan off TV at the end of WrestleMania 8. WrestleMania 11, the main event was Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow. And that was because of the NFL crossover. You had a big moment, a big opportunity to do Lawrence Taylor as a big star. 26 was Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. That was career streak match. That was a great match. I know 25 is lauded as the match, but 26 was the second. That was the big the streak versus career, as I mentioned. 28 was Rock and Cena. The first time around was just a dream match, was not a title match. They made it a title match 29 the next year. 33 was Reigns and Undertaker. And that was supposed to be the passing of the torch moment / Undertaker maybe retires, according to Undertaker, but then he came back. So it is what it is. WrestleMania 36 night 1. This was the Undertaker's last match. That was the Boneyard match, Styles and Taker. That was the plan, at least at the time, or that's what they wanted to do. 38 night 1 was Austin and Owens. That was, again, you can call it a match because they said ring the bell, but also it wasn't planned to be a match. But it was the closing segment, and it was a huge thing. Blah blah blah. So Austin and Owens at night 1 on 38, and then last year, of course, was all to get to night 2 main event, and it was also the Rock's in-ring return. So that was a big enough moment to warrant doing it. These three facing off in a night 1 main event, Punk, Roman, and Seth, compared to everything I just said, without a title, is it big enough to take on the main event caliber match for WrestleMania?
Is it?
Yes. In your eyes. I'm asking your opinion in this.
Yes. I think that it is. But again, the optics aren't good, and they care a lot about that kind of stuff. I know we can play semantics on this, but please tell me and we did this, I know we've already done this, but when it comes to 2-night WrestleManias, one of the Rumble winners has always been in one of the main events. Always. Since 2 nights. Again, you want to go back to when it was Shinsuke and Asuka, that's the last time. But since it's gone to 2 nights, one of the Rumble winners has always been in a WrestleMania main event. And the women have rightfully argued, Charlotte and Rhea, they had their case a couple of years ago. And, you can argue that it could have been, it should have been. Their match was great. They clearly had something to prove in that spot, and they got it done. Last year is a little bit tougher to argue because you had The Rock and you were building towards the night 2. And I think everybody understood, okay, it's The Rock. How often are we going to get it? Everybody put their feelings aside and we're like, all right, we get it. We understand this. And I also think truthfully, a lot of people were happy for Seth Rollins. A lot of the people in the locker room were happy Seth Rollins was in that spot as well. This year, to do no women in the main event again, and to do no Rumble winner in the main event, it's not going to look great. It's not going to look great when Seth's at his main event. Roman has always been in the main event. I think people like CM Punk. I think the people in the locker room, they're working fine with CM Punk. He clearly has his reputation has been a lot better here. I don't know if they're feeling like, yeah, CM Punk should be this main event over Rhea and Bianca, over Tiffany and Charlotte. I just don't know if they're feeling it quite the same way in there. And if I'm Roman Reigns, by the way, I put this tweet out there. It's jokingly. If I'm Roman Reigns, I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, triple threat match, no championship. Seth's had a main event. I've had a dozen main events. This guy here, he wants that main event. We don't need the main event. We're good without being the main event. Let someone else have that spot. We're fine. We don't need it. The women deserve it. Jey deserves it. You know he wants Jey to be in that main event spot. Give Jey that night one main event. All right? Give him that main event. I'm good. I don't need to set the other guy. Sorry. There's no title on the line. There's a good argument for Jey. There's a good argument for the women. I think Roman should swing dick here. And he should politic to not be in the main event. He should say, don't put me in the main event. I'm all good.
Yeah, Roman being all for Jey headlining is absolutely no. Let my cousin. I want to show.
You know he would too. He'd be all for it.
I made this happen. I want him to do it. Let Big Jey do it. Big Jim, your time will come in a few years. Don't worry about it. Big Goose, you're fine. Jacob, get your U.S. championship. Go home. You'll be happy. This is okay. The idea of optics, I understand where you're coming from. I don't think WWE or the fans who are paying the prices that they're currently paying to go see the shows, I don't think they care as much. I think they're good to see the matches happen in this case. For WrestleMania specifically, they know they're going to see Jey Uso in a world title match potentially. They know they're going to see Charlotte Flair in a world championship. They know that it's like they're going to see their favorites regardless. And it's almost like where it is on the card, to them, it might not matter as much. And I don't know if WWE is going to lose anything over the Rumble winner isn't in the main event. I know they tout it as the main event, where you get the main event, but they've also toned down the idea of what is the main event. Is it the marquee? Is it the last match? Is it who gets the most press? Who gets the most this? Who gets the most that? They're now calling them the Royal Rumble champions too, which I noticed. The wrestlers aren't necessarily calling it that, but they're branding it as the 2025 Royal Rumble champions, as if they're going to bring them a damn belt. And they might, because again, a belt is something. It's something to purchase. It's something to sell. It's a big toy factory. So for them, I don't think they care as much, because the people who are going to see their favorites wrestle for sure on the card. So it's almost like they're punching their ticket to be on the show. And if that's the way they start to market it, then it's going to be like, all right, I get it. Now, from a storyline perspective, I hope that they start this as Roman and Seth, and that Roman says, well, I'm the main event, I'm going to be the guy, and that Punk is left out in the cold completely at WrestleMania. He's got nothing. He didn't win the Chamber, he didn't win Royal Rumble, he didn't win anything. He is so screwed. He doesn't know what he's going to do, but he wants that main event so friggin' bad that the favor he calls in is making it a triple threat. Because for whatever, I don't know how they'd make Roman and Seth the main events like in WWE canon to make it the last match, but that's how he gets thrown in, because he's so damn desperate to be in the main event. It could be that the night one main event has implications on night two. They make it that the winner makes it a three-way. I don't necessarily like the idea. I'd rather it be Cody versus one person, the winner of the Chamber even. But if you want to add stakes to it, you can do that. Or loser leaves WWE. I think it's a little stupid, but I know I think it's a little silly to do those, but I feel like there's a way to make it so that you give a damn about all three people in this triple threat from a storyline standpoint. And one thing that Jey winning the Royal Rumble did was it completely tossed into disarray all these strong characters and their paths to WrestleMania. And now three of the biggest ones have nothing title wise, main event wise, whatever you want to say. And they're scrambling. Other than they're scrambling to beat each other up, they're scrambling for a spot on the card because they got nothing. And Punk is one of those. And I like that that's a story right now. And I like that that's a way that they could go. And it all has implications later on. Cena wins, let's say. Punk wins, let's say. Money in the Bank, Cena and Punk in Chicago. I'm not saying Money in the Bank's in Chicago, but I'm going to ride that train until they announce it. There's a way you can do it. But I don't hate this as a night one main event match. Again, all of this is reading tea leaves and thinking what could be, what might be. And I'm not trying to, I'm not saying PW Insider is wrong or that we're right or whatever. But right now, things are so fluid when it comes to WrestleMania build that we're kind of not throwing things at the wall to see what sticks, as the old saying goes, but saying like, I could reasonably believe that this is something that's been talked about as a potential match. And those three, you can make sense of it.
Well, yeah, it's obviously been talked about and potentially out there because that's what they set up at the Rumble.
Yes.
Like, I don't think it's no knock on PW Insider. Like, I don't think it's some big report that this is a potential WrestleMania match. We saw this play out at the Rumble, and I think a lot of people looking after the Rumble, especially after Jey Uso won, were like, oh, this is the WrestleMania match. The main event spot is the part that, to me, is the most intriguing because I don't know if it's going to be the main event. Why is Roman and Seth a main event match that Punk needs to get himself into? It's Roman and Seth. Like, why is that already? Why is Punk trying to get into that to be in a main event spot? If I'm looking at Roman and Seth, I'm looking at like, okay, yeah, I want to be in the match because what else am I doing at WrestleMania? But to me, with no title outside of Roman being the main event, that's not a guaranteed main event right there.
I know. And that's what's weird is how do you get there? What is the stipulation, or what is it a title that they win? Like, what is the reason to make them the main event? The Shield explodes would have been great, but one of the guys right now has a brief, he ate an entire title belt and won't give it up. So you got 2 out of 3. You can't really do anything with the Shield other than the fact that, again, I didn't talk about this on Monday's show, but I love the idea that it was the leftovers of the Shield. It was Roman and it was Seth and it was Punk in Indianapolis, where it all started with the Shield. And they really did, like, they didn't hit that home, but it was there. And I like that there was that little piece that was there. But yeah, I don't know if there's any reason to make this the main event above anything else, given where we're at right now.
You mentioned the optics, and maybe WWE doesn't care. Maybe the fans don't care. I think there's something to be said for the people in the company and that they might care. Again, Charlotte and Rhea, certainly Charlotte, we know she was very vocal about wanting that main event spot a couple years ago that ended up going to the Usos, Sammy, and Kevin. But we know she was pretty vocal about that, and before the show and after the show. And her wrestling proved it that night. Rhea as well. I think there is something to be said for the people in the company looking at this and thinking, okay, winning the Rumble doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get a main event spot. You know, for another year, the women not getting a main event spot, just Roman's just always going to get it no matter what. It's like, well, great. No matter what Roman does. And look, I know Roman's earned his spot and everything, but if I'm looking at it like, okay, so Roman can not be a champion, not have a whole lot going on, but he's Roman Reigns and he's just going to be in a main event spot. Cool. Why am I battling this entire year to try to earn that spot at WrestleMania if no matter what I do, if I'm not facing Roman Reigns, doesn't seem to matter? I'd be a little irritated if I'm someone in the company. Like, I think there's optics in the company that they have to worry about. Like, if I'm Roman, I've been in that spot so many times. I don't know how much Roman cares about that anyway. Maybe he does. I know he still talks about, like, I'm the best and everything. But if I'm Roman Reigns, I'm secure. with everything. And he's talked about elevating other people and certainly his bloodline, certainly his family. If I'm him, I'm looking at this like I don't need the main event spot. I'm fine going on co-main event, especially if Jey Uso one-on-one gets his moment in the main event. If I'm Roman, I'm looking at that like, yeah, put me on co-main event. Jey winning the world title, main event, great. That sounds good to me.
I think similar to what you're saying, he cares. I think Roman cares to a certain degree about his position because right now he's enjoying the fruits of his labor. Because for so long, when he was main eventing those WrestleManias and people were like, oh, this shit again. Now, since, when was it? 37? When he really stepped into it, like the triple threat. 36 was, 36. Yeah, you're right. 36. Yeah. When he really started, and I'll add 37 just because 36 was like half crowds and socially distanced. It wasn't the same. When everything was full and packed and people were really buying into it, that's when he really got to enjoy the fruits of his labor. And now we're heading into WrestleMania 41. We're looking at, the 4th or 5th year in a row where he's been a very dominant part of the story and of the card. I don't think he's ready to back down yet because, like you said, now's the time to put people over. And yes, he could step back and say, okay, put my cousin on the main event. He could. For all we know, he's doing that. But it could also be, you still need me? All right, I'll be there. But I'm not going to be here forever. So it could very well be I'm going to keep taking that payday until I don't need the payday or I don't need you no more. And that's it. I don't know. And I'm not going to speak for the guy. I'm just going to, put out where we're at with him.
I listened. I don't know how much Roman Reigns media you listened to over the weekend. As usual, I listened to a good chunk of what he had to say.
And I pick up what you leave up. I pick up what you have put out.
Okay. Well, writing it is obviously you're not going to be able to convey tone and things like that. I try my best, but the words aren't always going to read the same as the way it's said. This dude sounds so secure. He was asked, do you ever worry about like, oh, this guy is coming up for your spot? Like Cody's getting hot, CM Punk's getting hot, Drew's getting hot. Like, does that make you be like, oh, I need to come back now because I'm worried about where I might fall? No, he doesn't at all. I don't think he cares if he's not the main event. I don't think he cares. And certainly if it is his cousin, certainly if it is Jey Uso, I don't think he cares if he goes on last. He knows where his spot is. He knows how big of a star he is. His money ain't changing. He's not making less money just because he's not the main event.
You see, I read that differently. I read that as I'm not worried about my spot because I can walk in and take the top spot anytime I want. Not,
okay,
someone's going to take it from me. It's, I can have it if I want it. And
yeah,
I get it.
Exactly. You're kind of proving the point, though, is he can have it whenever he wants. So he's fine with letting Jey Uso have it. Again, let's focus on the Jey Uso aspect of this. Let's focus on this is Roman's family member, where he's talked about the whole bloodline, and a big purpose of it was to elevate the family, elevate, his blood. He's not worried about it. He can see Jey Uso. Get your moment, Us. Go get it. He's still Roman Reigns, and if he wants a main event spot, he can take it. But he's also looking at it of like, I do need to elevate others. I do need to put others in a better position. Why wouldn't I put certainly over anybody? You're not asking him, well, he's put over Cody, but you're not asking him of like, take a step back for Cody. Take a step back for John Cena, who's on his last year. Take a step back for CM Punk. Take a step back for your cousin. Take a step back for someone who you have had a pretty big hand in elevating. I think Roman is secure enough in doing that. On
the other hand, just to add to this whole conversation about what the card means and where people matter, I think there's a possibility that Roman doesn't care about going on last, like you said, but also doesn't care about his brother or his cousin, I should say, going on last because he knows the moment's going to exist. No, he does. He knows the moment's going to exist because look what happened on Raw. Look what happened on Raw. He opened up that show
Okay.
You saw exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That was a moment. And this is why I go back to what happened on Monday with Jey Uso. And I double, triple down on what I said about Gunther. Does it matter that it's the last match on the show? Not at all. Because you saw the man was so incredibly over that he got a friggin' encore for his entrance. And they gave it to him. They let him have it. They know exactly what they have with Jey Uso. And I think that they understand that the World Heavyweight Championship, while not the number one title, it's a different world title than the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The presentation is different, the champions are different, the expectations are different, and as a result, yeah, listen, he's not going to be the main event last match on. Could be the first match, and you get that big moment. I don't necessarily think they should, but I don't think that anyone is running around being like Jey Uso in WWE specifically saying like, Jey has to be the last match. He has to be the last match. Those cards are friggin' long. You don't even know if by the end of the night people are going to be as invested in that type of match, just to get to that moment. I think that there's a possibility that they will care when we get to the finish. But if you want full on investment for however long the match is, you could do it earlier in the night and it'll be just as impactful, because guess what's going to happen Monday night on Raw? Cody Rhodes is going to come out and he's going to be the champion. They're going to run a promo for 40 minutes. No, but if they have Jey Uso open up Raw the next night after WrestleMania, you could argue that's almost as big as the title win itself, because he gets that moment again and it's on Netflix and people are watching because it's the night after Mania. They're involved in that.
I don't think you are giving Roman Reigns enough credit for how he views the landscape. If you think he is just going to be like, oh yeah, put him in the middle of the card, the moment's the same because he's over no matter what.
Well, the good news is Roman's not running the card. He's not putting together the card.
Well, in this argument we're having, not argument, but in this discussion we're having, we kind of are saying he's the one calling this shot. And I do think he has a lot of say in whether or not the match goes on last. If Triple H comes to Roman Reigns and says, hey, we want you to go on last, and Roman says, no, you know what? Give Jey that spot. Triple H is going to be like, okay, fine. He's going to do it. And if Roman goes in there and says, no, you know what? I'm going on last. Triple H is going to go like, okay, fine. You can go on last. So I do think Roman has a little bit of power of whether or not this match goes on last. And certainly the discussion we are having, we are talking about Roman Reigns and his spot on the card. Because you're the one who said Roman might not care if it's the main event. Or that Jey isn't the main event.
5 years ago. It was 5 years ago? 6 years ago. WrestleMania 35. This is, sorry, that sounded confrontational. This is more epiphanetic. This is more of an epiphany or a conversation for creativity. What happened at the beginning of the show? Paul Heyman comes out and he says, we're gonna kick this off. We're gonna do the title match right now, right? And the whole story was Brock just wants to get in and get out. He doesn't care about WrestleMania. This is stupid, blah, blah, blah. You could do something like that with Gunther if it's going to be Gunther and Jey Uso, where Gunther comes out and says, yeah, I'm supposed to be in the main event, but I don't care about this guy. He's garbage. Let me beat him now and get out of here. And that's the opening match at WrestleMania. And you get the moment immediately. I get it. It doesn't last throughout the next two nights. I understand that. But it's an idea that Gunther is so full of himself, because that's what the promo was on Monday too with Gunther. How does this affect my legacy? Why do I care? And he says, I don't care. We're not going to be last anyway, blah, blah, blah. Give it to me right now. Let's do it. And Jey Uso comes out and it just throws the show into disarray, quote unquote. It's a hot start.
In this hypothetical, they've not pre-announced the main event because you can't do this. This was the issue with 35. Is they'd already announced that the women were going to headline. So Paul Heyman came out and did this. The way you're framing this as Gunther, it's got to be framed different, because if Gunther cares about legacy, Gunther coming out and saying, I don't care about the main event makes him sound like an idiot.
No, but he should come out and be like, this match is so beneath me that I don't want it to be the main event, or something legacy.
Oh, and then he loses though. And then he loses.
That's the thing. Let me move on to the next one by beating him now and moving forward. Like something that he is so full of himself and so certain that he's going to win that he loses and he looks like an idiot. Let him look like a complete ass on the way out. And
They've
on the
not
way out,
done
but on the way down.
enough. They've not done enough to rebuild the goodwill in Gunther after they put the title on him to make him look this stupid. It kind of worked. It kind of worked for Brock because it's friggin' Brock, and Paul Heyman was the one doing the talking as well. So it wasn't directly Brock Lesnar saying this, but it's also Brock. Gunther has already been, and they even had to acknowledge this on Monday of, I've been making you believe that I've been escaping, but I've been in control the entire time. Again, they're kind of acknowledging that, yeah, he ain't been booked the strongest in all of this. So him coming out and being like, this is beneath me. I don't need the main event. This is worthless to me. And then losing, he looks like a fool in that case. And that's, I don't think that does him any favor. Just put him in the main event at that point. Put him in the main event and have him lose.
It's fair. It's fair. And again, we have a lot of time between now and then. So it's entirely possible that they build that way, or that again, he's the reluctant champion for the challenge that he's facing, that he's so full of himself. Again, it's just, this is why I'm like, I don't love that the story is that he's getting cocky, because that led to his downfall at 39 or at 40 with Sammy, that it just led to him losing the Intercontinental Championship. I don't love that that's the potential story that we're looking at with Jey Uso, where he keeps denying this guy because he's beat him so much, and then eventually David beats Goliath, and here we are. But it looks like that's the story that we're going to get, and they can tell it very effectively.
I'm not sold that Gunther and Jey Uso's the match. I keep saying it. I'm not sold on it. I don't think that's going to be the match.
So here's where I will give credence to your argument. John Cena doesn't win the Rumble. He comes out at the presser and says, I'm going to be in the chamber. And then they, I've afforded myself the ability to be in there without having to win an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. And that to me was the moment where I said, he might not win the chamber. Because what's the story with John Cena's last year? It's not the title. I mean, the title's there, but like, what did he tell you on Netflix? It's been 2,000 days, 2,000 plus days since I've won a match, a singles match in WWE, or since I won a match is effectively how he put it. And it was not true. But the way they're planning it is that he's a big old loser. Maybe Cena doesn't actually win the Elimination Chamber and challenge Cody after all.
So who wins the chamber?
Well, that's up to who's in the chamber in the end, because right now it's just Cena and Punk.
Okay, we can surmise.
You can surmise Logan Paul. I mean, I would love that to be otherwise and let it be Rey Mysterio, but it is what it is.
We can surmise Seth.
Does he has got a qualifier next week against Finn Balor?
I don't think it's next week. It's in a couple weeks.
In a couple weeks. Yeah. Well, regardless, they have one of those. Yeah, you could surmise Seth unless there's some sort of tomfoolery that Punk cost Seth the match. And Seth's not in the chamber either.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say either because Punk is in the chamber, but the point is Punk cost Seth the match and blah, blah, blah. So like you could have Finn in the match. And it's just another dude who, has fun in the chamber. I don't know. That's why I'm like, the only one that I'm certain of is Logan Paul at this point. And then Punk and Cena are in it. Put Bad Bunny in a chamber match. Put Drake in the chamber match. Just let him have to take on those guys. But yeah, there's like a part of me that says maybe Cena gets pinned at the chamber because he's a big old loser. That's the story. That's what they've been telling you.
I don't disagree that maybe it's not going to be John Cena winning the Elimination Chamber. I don't think it's Jey Uso and Gunther as the title match for WrestleMania. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what twist and turn they might have. I pitched Jey, Cena, and Cody. I think that could be one match. I think there's a possibility that is a WrestleMania main event. And then we know there's a possibility for Roman, Punk, and Seth. Could the title be on the line there? I laid out how this could all go down. Don't know if it will go down, but I've laid stuff out. We'll see where they end up going. But I'm kind of steadfast in it's not Jey and Gunther. I think it's a red herring. I don't think that's the match. I don't know if Gunther makes it to WrestleMania as the champion.
Who beats him for the title? Seth?
Could be Seth. I've kind of said it's Seth. Now Seth being in the chamber maybe throws a wrench in that, but you can always do a title change on Raw. You can always do a Raw title change. I could easily see that.
And again, we don't know if Seth will definitely be in the chamber given who could get involved.
Yeah, it's possible that he doesn't beat Finn Balor. Very possible. But yeah, it could be Seth who ends up beating him. And then that's how you get a world title in that feud. And that's how you can justify it as a main event match over a women's match or the Rumble winners.
Let's hit a couple super chat. Ryan Lambert saying the Shield face off of WrestleMania. Sort of. Add Kurt Angle to the mix. Let's go. Get Triple H on the horn. Can he do it? Hunter, can he work one last match as the Shield member? And Ryan Adams saying, I could see it main eventing. This is, I'm guessing, the triple threat that we talked about, the Roman Punk and Seth match. I could see it main eventing if you add John Cena and make it a number one contendership 4-way for Cody's belt. Now, in this scenario, is it again night one? Yeah. This is the match, and then Cody's completely championshipless. Like the match isn't official until night two. If that's the case, I don't want WWE to make a habit out of night one affecting night two. I think that we did it last year and it made sense. I don't necessarily think this year they need to go that way. I like that they flowed it well with The Rock and the tag match and they had to pivot, blah, 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 because The Rock's an idiot. But like, I would like to see them keep it as night one, night two. Don't mix it up too much just to influence two nights, like the matches of two nights.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be that way every single year. Last year, The Rock threw a wrench in a lot of things because they had something and then he came in and he's like, what about we do this? And then at 3 a.m. in the morning, he was drinking Mana and he's like, final boss, brother. Oh, last year, I understand why they had to go that way. I don't like doing it every year, though, because then you are effectively taking away that main event spot from others. And again, in this case, you're still taking away the main event spot from the Rumble winners and the women, and you're giving now two people, or you're giving one person two main events, which you already did last year. So I don't love doing it again this year, especially when it could end up being the same people getting the 2-night main event here, which would be Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I get it. It's going to be a very, I think, twists and turns is the right way to put it that you had mentioned. I'm still on the Jane Gunther story, and I think that there's a lot there. Good morning, Sean.
Sean.
Good morning. There's a lot on Sports Illustrated, as Graze Streams is saying. SI reporting that Jade Cargill is expected to be back before Mania. Of course, listen, I'm going to encourage you guys send super chats, humper chats to get those read, but there's a point to this. Fightful Selected reported months ago, I believe November, that Jade was legitimately sidelined, and there was another outlet that didn't just try to say that she wasn't, like repeatedly went out of their way to double, triple, quadruple down on such a thing. And I went on a rant the other day about how if you're going to take a shot at dirt sheets, do it something that they were wrong about. This story is one that another outlet did not get right. But Sports Illustrated John Alba confirmed that she has been injured, which is why she has been training at the Performance Center to get cleared. But hopefully she's back soon. But Jeremy, I guess that settles that.
Oh, that's a deep cut. I don't know how many people get it, but I still work that into. I still work that into a couple articles every now and again.
My mic arm just fell off.
Wow.
Breaking your mic.
Breaking news, breaking mic arms. What are we doing here?
Yeah. My God, pal.
How was the concert last night, Sean?
Oh, yeah.
It was good. So I was on Instagram, and a person that I know was like, oh, it's our anniversary, so we're going to see Highly Suspect. And I was like, well, I know where they are geographically. They lived in the same town that I used to. So they're either going to Cincinnati or Lexington, maybe Louisville. And I looked it up, and they were 2 miles from my home, which I have seen them there before. And when I looked at it, it was like 20 minutes before doors opened. and I got a ticket for $8 plus fees,
Let's go.
which doubled the ticket price.
I was gonna say, so $20 total.
It's $40.
$16, and I showed up there. I want to say about 3 songs into their set, not 3 thongs into their set. That'd be cool though.
Seen Cisco.
That'd be cool though. And left with one left in the encore. Have my wife drop me off, pick me up to avoid the parking situation. It was a good time. Was there, watched the set and back within about 65 minutes. I spent less time doing that than Roxanne Perez spent in the Rumble.
I like the idea. I know that she's not, but of your wife like sitting in the car in the parking lot, just listening to music, waiting for you.
Well, I asked her if she wanted to go too. She's like, I don't want to go anywhere tonight. And I was like, cool, I am.
I get it.
So that was fun. It was a good time.
Glad you were able to take some time to yourself on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was kind of a day off for me, so that was nice. Bought a stair machine yesterday. That's a fun one.
Is that different from a Stairmaster? Is it just a step below?
Same thing. It's just Stairmaster is a brand.
It's like Kleenex.
I wonder, do they still do Stairmasters? Everybody's got into the stair game at this point.
I'm sure there's.
They sure do.
Yeah, they probably have like rebranded it and given you 50 different versions of it too.
Yeah. Oh, they're still very highly rated, as I see. Listen, if Stepper or Stairmaster or anybody wants to hit me up and just provide me one, I will do 2 months of ad reads for you guys to avoid me paying the cost that I paid for this one. Yeah, by God. But
have you leveled up from your travel yet? Coming back?
What is it?
Have you leveled out from your travel?
Yeah.
Feel good?
Yes. Cam Hawkins says my favorite playground. Well, buddy. No comment.
You lost the joke.
I did not know where that was going.
I sent Cam a picture because I was in Vegas and they had a Joey Chestnut bagel ad, and I was like, "Damn, Cam, he saw you get in the game and he said, can't keep up with these kids. Gotta get out.
Switching to bagels.
Switching to bagels.
Oh, Stairmaster and a standing desk. I see the vision.
Yeah,
you're gonna do.
I don't use the standing feature nearly as much on this, but I should.
I am the same.
Oh yeah, got a tour shirt for about 10 times as much as what I paid for the tickets.
That sounds about right.
Got to make the money at the merch stand, brother.
I had friends who went to go see Sum 41 in Toronto, and one friend who saw them in Montreal was like, "Man, I can't believe people spend $60 for the t-shirts. I would never." And then the person I saw the next week, a friend of mine, was like, "Hey, did you go to the Sum 41 concert?" I was like, "Nah," and he shows me his t-shirt, and I start to cackle. I was like, "You spent $60 on that?"
I saw them last year with Offspring.
They're great. Oh, yeah. Dude, this is their farewell tour. I can speak.
They tried to lie and say last year was their farewell tour. I feel like every band just does.
Yeah, they announced that they were going to have a farewell tour, but they had an album to drop first.
Yeah, and a book from Derek, so they had to get there.
Like, why a farewell tour? The health issues?
Yeah, Derek's had health issues for a few years.
Okay, I was going to say, like, that's pretty young in the game to be saying, like, no, never again, because they're just hitting. Like, he's 44. They're just hitting that period to where they're becoming like cool again to people who have disposable income, which nobody has anymore. But like Limp Bizkit does great on tour now as a result of that. So like they're at that period, like 15 years ago when everybody started to go back to Poison concerts and shit like that. That's where they are now.
Last thing I remember about Poison is Bret Michaels doing some sort of appearance on a award show, and as he turns around to leave, the thing is coming down and he smacks his face and falls on the floor. That's the last thing I remember about Bret Michaels. That was like 20 years ago.
Damn.
I remember Bret Michaels from Rock of Love. That was it.
Oh yeah, he was in that. Was he? No, was he in Supernova? No, he wasn't in
Supernova.
It was when they were all making the band, like the super.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who the band was. I know Jason Newsted was supposed to be a part of that, and then he hurt himself and didn't. Yeah, that was the whole thing.
Listen, he's lucky to have a job. If Hulk Hogan wasn't a wrestler, buddy.
Shout out to Pat McAfee for getting a little jab in there during that interview. I really
I didn't watch that shit. What did he say?
Oh,
so
he got a few.
He got a few, but like when Hogan was like, they asked him, he's surprised he got booed, and then he does this whole thing. He says, yeah, and then also the other stuff. And then he just kind of moved on. And Hogan just kind of like had that cringe look on his face, like, oh shit, he got me. He said something else, but like he got something in there. It's very funny.
Hogan was something in that interview.
He was Hulk Hogan in that interview. Like,
yeah.
Same old shit.
He loves everybody, but he also hates everybody.
Well, almost everybody.
Like, I love Brett. Brett's great. Brett seems like a cool guy. I'd love to hang out with him. Could have done better in your career, brother. You would have. Don't blame me for why your career failed. Love Chris Jericho. Love Chris Jericho. He's great. When I was in WCW, they wanted all the 40 guys out. And now look at him. He's 60, still wrestling. But I love Chris. He's a big friend.
The EVP of Terrible Golf Swings has messaged me and said, my opinion is that they're doing a farewell tour, so in 10 years they can do a reunion tour. I think 10 years is very conservative in that sense. I think they'll do it within a few years. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling better now. Let's do this tour.
I mean, Canadian healthcare has come a long way. It's possible.
Get that money, however.
That's right. He's got his book. He's fine. He's going to be just fine. Derek Wembley. Shout out to Sum 41. But no shout out to you, Simple Plan. Playing Union Station acoustically. Yeah, they showed up and did like a 30-minute set at Union Station in Toronto where the trains come in. It was very weird, but it was all acoustic, so it wasn't nearly as fun. You can find it on their YouTube.
Okay. Might do that, might not.
Yeah, I won't. There's one song.
Goodbye.
Bye. That's how you get rid of Sean. You just talk about mundane things. Oh God, where were we? Yeah, Jade's coming back. Jade Cargill's coming back.
Are we sure? We don't know who attacked her. The investigation has run cold.
Can't believe it. The world's worst loading dock footage, and they just can't get it. Get the damn loading dock footage. Shouldn't be this difficult. What else we got? Is there anything else from Raw that we I mean, I didn't talk about it with you, but like I don't know what else from Raw really mattered.
So either. I was trying to think of what happened on Raw. My memory can't remember what happened 2 hours ago, much less 48 hours ago. So
let's take a look, shall we? I mean, the stuff with Kaiser and Penta was hilarious.
If you talk about the glitching, like it was unfortunate. Hopefully they get it together for next week. But
yeah, and it wasn't it was at the source. It wasn't a broadcast issue. It was something was happening. Well, it's Cleveland, so everything sucks. So something happened in the power grid. Blame Cleveland, as most people should. It was very strange because, it affected my viewing as well. It seems like everyone's was. But if you go back and you rewatch the show, it's not fixed. Like it wasn't re-uploaded or anything. It's all messed up. So it looks like whatever happened was in-house, and hopefully it gets fixed because that was not fun. I guess we should talk about the KO Sammy interaction at the very end of the show.
Oh, yeah.
There was another package pile driver, Jeremy.
Sammy's dead. R.I.P.
Sammy's dead. R.I.P. Wearing a Sami Zayn Forever shirt. Johnny Knoxville is going to come and like have a segment with Kevin Owens.
Ooh.
They should do that.
Oh, that would absolutely rule. Johnny Knoxville standing up for Sami Zayn. Like, look, I don't like that low down, dirty scumbag Sami Zayn. But even I wouldn't go to these lengths to do this. Why would we do that? And then Kevin Owens laying him out with a package pile driver as well. Yeah, I love that.
I was thinking about how he would lay him out because I feel like the package pile, he would tease it and then maybe Sammy would come to his aid to stop Knoxville from getting hurt. He just, what
Knoxville just takes it.
Knoxville, he puts Knoxville up for the package pile driver. Sammy comes out and he stops and waits and he's like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it.
Nah, there's no saving Knoxville. Knoxville's taking the bump, brother.
He's collateral damage in this case.
Yeah. You ain't doing long-term stuff with Johnny Knoxville. I don't need a Sami Zayn Johnny Knoxville like reunion or anything. I don't need them being on good terms, but I do think there is some good story in Johnny Knoxville being like, even you've gone too far. You were supposed to be his friend. Like, I never liked the guy. Now, I played pranks on him. I slapped him with the hand. Wee man kicked him in the dick and everything. But you were his friend. He talked glowingly about you. You won the tag team titles with him at WrestleMania. You did this to him? Even I can't respect that. Kevin Owens like, I don't respect you and your dumbass little stunts. Here's another concussion.
I like it. I just want to. Knoxville on the road to WrestleMania works. The only problem is they're about to spend all of March in the UK, so not as easy unless Knoxville happens to be in the UK filming something.
Could be. Never know.
John Cena, by the way, this was interesting. People were talking about how he's going to be in Hungary for the rest of, until Elimination Chamber. And I was like, okay, yeah, he could still send in a video once or twice. That would be nice. Yeah. I hope that he actually, does something, because for the whole Rumble thing, they just kind of put him on once and that was it.
I think it's going to be the same thing here. He even said it himself of like, I'm going to be away. I'm going to be filming. That's why he didn't have to qualify, because he's not going to be around to qualify. I don't know about sending in a video. I kind of think they like that he's kind of out of sight, out of mind until he is there and returns, because sending in a video, I don't want to say cheapens things, but I do think you disappoint fans when it's like, oh, we just got a John Cena video. Like, I think they'd rather it just be, we're not even going to give you a little bit. We make no promises that he was going to be at these shows. I assume at some point they'll announce like actual dates he's going to be on once he finishes all of his filming commitments. But I think him sending in a video almost disappoints the live fans more. Television fans, they'll be happy to see him. You can further some story. But for live fans, I don't know, being there and be like, oh, I just got like a video. I'd rather just have the expectation that he's not going to be there at all.
That's fair. I mean, even if he just has some sort of digital exclusive something, just to remind you that he's still, I'm still here. I'm still John Cena. But they didn't do it for the Rumble. I guess it makes sense not to do it for this particular run. I thought it would have been interesting if he was doing the European filming while WWE was there, because at least then he could potentially make a few appearances. But I think he will. I feel like he's going to show up to at least, a couple of the bigger Raws that they're going to be taping in the UK. It would make perfect sense, since this is the end of his like wrestling career, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are we doing? John Cena being a US North American only appearer.
No, he already said he wants to work the UK shows and he wants to do all of that. So I suspect we'll see him there.
I know you talked about it with SP3. I will add to the EO and Liv finish was absolutely ridiculous. They didn't need to do it that way. They ran it poorly, and Rhea versus EO is a match we all want to see, and I'm sure they'll get there. Could be the Elimination Chamber Women's Championship or just a Raw before Chamber match. But yeah, giving the disqualification victory to Liv because she was the one who did it first. Like, she was the instigator in this. She was the one who attacked Ripley. I don't know why she was the one who got disqualified. It's very strange.
I don't know why Rhea is coming out at this nonsense at all. She said she was done with it.
She said she was protecting her friend, because earlier when she came back after the Charlotte thing, EO was there. They did the thing, and then Liv and Raquel, beat up EO, and there was at least there was a reason for it, but it was just very poorly acted on. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah,
poor EO's got to get different friends. Everybody's hurt. Her friends are hurt right now.
Who should be Jordynne Grace should be your friend, but it looks like she's going to be in NXT according to Fightful Select. So,
yeah.
No Jordynne Grace on NXT last night. It looks like they're gonna take their time reintroducing her. I'd personally probably wait until after Vengeance Day to put her back on TV with NXT for a bit.
I never Just Julia wins at Vengeance Day, and then here comes Jordynne.
Yeah, just to introduce and be like, oh, that's Jordynne Grace, and she's kind of like, you're next, or something like that.
Hey, you're next. Just comes out, confronts her. That's it.
Yeah.
Basically set up the match.
There wasn't really anything else from Raw that's like has to be out there. Just looking through photos, looking through everything else. The match between Punk and Zayn was good, and it led to the package pile driver, like we said. Is this a match that you want to see? Zayn and KO potentially at WrestleMania? Is this like because we've seen it enough times, we've seen it over the years, like is it a hot enough match, or is it kind of like we got to put these guys on the card and they'll have a really fun match?
I don't know if it's a WrestleMania match. It feels like it might be Toronto for them.
I'm not against it. It's a confusing as hell match though for Toronto.
They'll cheer Sami Zayn and boo Kevin Owens. Like,
I think they'll cheer both guys.
Well, probably. But
I think we really like our Canadians, regardless of where they are on the ledger.
Yeah. Maybe you do. Problem is, Kevin is such a big heel that like you do need a Sami Zayn type baby face to get him any type of booze. Because I was gonna say maybe you do Kevin and Randy, because at some point Randy's coming back, I assume. Like maybe you do Kevin and Randy in Toronto. Is Randy theoretically he should be good enough, especially the story they've told, to get Kevin booed, but I don't know if they will.
And we don't know where Randy is at this point, if he's ready to come back or what's happening there. I know Sean has been like, there's something that he's not reporting right now. He's choosing not to report on right now. We don't know what it is, but he's not on TV. So I don't know if they're waiting to do something for WrestleMania or if this is going to be the play, Sammy and KO, just to get it all the way to Mania. I don't know how you do it beyond the Johnny Knoxville stuff that I mentioned, but it's a fun match. Like, do not get me wrong. Those two can have a great match.
You get Sammy and KO to WrestleMania easily. One, Sammy's going to be off TV for a little while because the package pile driver, as we've learned, will take you out for at least a couple of weeks.
It's usually 2 weeks, and then you get a belt and everything's fine.
Yeah, as I said, a couple of weeks. So he'll be off television for a couple of weeks, and then after that, it's Kevin and Sammy. They're both good enough talkers. They're both good enough characters to where they can stretch things out. I don't think it's a stretch. Like, there's enough story and there that they'll make it work. So I'm not worried about them getting that match if they decide to get there to get to WrestleMania for those two.
That's fair. Yeah, there's nothing else that I can think of from Monday Night Raw that I want to get into, but should we preview the AEW Dynamite? Dynamite? You need a theme song this week.
Yeah, I don't know how we're topping last week.
I don't know. I feel like we could do it. Chat, what is it? What's going to be the theme?
Yeah, I don't know how we're topping last week, talking about titties on your forehead, titties on your chin, titties on titties with my big titty friends. Tough to beat that line.
It's true. That was a pretty good line. Oh, man. Big Quiche really excited to see his boy win.
I mean, as he should, you know.
Apparently they didn't tell him, and he was reacting accordingly.
I assume they didn't tell him. Like, why would they? He'd go spoil it.
Emergency podcast. We got to get this going right now. Let's go.
Yeah, he'd spoil it. So I wouldn't think they would tell him.
It'd be very funny. Someone saying Thong Song because it was brought up earlier.
Oh, Thong Song. All right.
Is that too contemporary for Tony though? It's not the 80s. It's the late 90s.
I sang Sexy Red last week. Like,
that's fair.
What are we talking about?
That's fair. Ricky should use reverse psychology to get Jay's proper booking. Oh God. Are you pulling up the lyrics to Thong Song?
I know the lyrics to Thong Song. I was gonna listen to it in my headphones so I could like sing it with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, you
really get into it. So that's what I'm pulling up.
I see it. I see the vision.
Yeah.
Dumps like a truck.
All right, hold on. Let me get this going here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for AEW Dynamite. This is gonna be hilarious. Here we go.
What?
Oh, I thought you were doing it.
No, I was asking you, was that Tony Schiavone's you were trying
Oh,
to
sure, probably. It's always Tony.
Oh,
If
okay.
it's shrill and whiny, it's Tony Schiavone.
I'm listening to the whole song. Like, you got the video. He's on like the phone in the video.
Is it like
and
one of those old
everything.
1999 phones?
Yeah.
Flip phones? Yeah, let's
Big
go.
Show's in this video. Like
He
the
is.
remix video. Yeah.
I remember that was a big topic of discussion.
His kid is like trying to get his attention. And he's like, I gotta look at asses.
Good for him. He understands. This is why you're here.
Dude, this song ruled. You could never give me to hate this song. Absolutely rules. The wife's about to hate me. She's been connected to this song way too much.
Does anyone on the indies come out to this song? And if not, why not?
Nah, it should. I'm not gonna do the dress so scandalous part. We're just gonna, hit the high notes here.
Yeah. Just yeah. Hit your high spots, brother.
She had dumps like a truck.
Hold on. Your audio is all fucked up. Hold on. Your audio is all.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was doing the thing where it kind of cuts out.
Oh no. Is it because I'm playing the video?
It's fine now. I think it was something else. It does that sometimes with you.
I wonder if it's because I'm playing the video. All right, I won't play the video. I'll just,
Oh no, just try it again. Come on.
All right,
Everyone's live in the booth with you. They want to see it.
Yeah,
100 plus people want to know.
here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Prove it. Now I gotta rewind.
Yeah. Oh, it is when you play it.
Is it still messing up the audio?
Yeah, it's messing up the audio.
Oh, so it's playing. So when I'm playing the video, it's messing up the audio.
That's hilarious. Well, now I know whenever your audio gets messed up, it's because you're not paying attention to me or Jensen, and you're trying to recap something.
I typically don't listen to videos while we're doing this. What if I listen to it through my iTunes? Hold on.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. Is it because I'm moving? I'm too into it?
I don't think so.
I don't know if I have the Thong Song downloaded on iTunes, actually.
Do Spotify for this?
Spotify.
Yeah, just use Spotify.
Yeah, hold on. Wow. So, all right. So now we know that I should download the Thong Song, put it on my playlist, but
should.
I haven't.
Listen to it every week, every day. Take the kids to school every day.
I listen to much worse.
Fair.
Is it still?
Yeah, it's doing it again. Still going. Yeah. No.
Is it still messed up?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh no. All right, I'm gonna download this friggin' song and I'm gonna put it on my iTunes. All right, hold on. I'll just play a different song on iTunes because there's no sense in actually downloading it. All right, I'm about to sing something else here.
This is hilarious.
About to play Euphoria and just sing that.
Really, you're really trying to hit this one, hey? You're really trying to get to the overheads.
I see dead people. So it's messing up.
Oh no, it's fine right now.
Reaping what I sow, okay. The Benjamin and the Jackson house, like I'm Joe, okay. Hellcat, throw okay. Till they get chips by your throwaway, and I might do a show a day. Once a lame, always a lame. It's not messing up.
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right. So apparently iTunes, it won't mess up. All right.
Have you tried Real Media Player?
What, a QuickTime? Have you tried QuickTime? Yeah.
Well, that's how you edit your videos.
No, I edit videos through iMovie and CapCut.
My God. Well, I know that much.
Yeah. CapCut is how I do all the shorts that I make.
It is very good, though.
All right, so I have to get the Thong Song. All right, I like how I'm just gonna listen to it.
Yeah,
I knew the lyrics.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
All right, fine. I'll just sing the song. I was trying to groove with it. You know what I mean? Like you hear it in your headphones.
I know. Get the karaoke version and put it on this. Put it on this channel.
No, I gotta play it on iTunes. Apparently. All right. Okay, here we go. She had dumps like a truck. Thighs like what? Baby, move your butt. I think I sing it again. She had dumps like a truck. Thighs like what? All night long. Let me see that thong. Baby, make your booty go. That thong. Like the way your booty go. That thong. She had dumps like a truck. Thighs like what? Baby, move your butt. I think I sing it again. She had dumps like a truck. Thighs like what? Baby, move your butt. All night long. Let me see that thong. That thong. Baby. That thong. Baby, make your booty go. I like the way your booty go all night long. Let me see that thong. Baby. That thong. Baby, make your booty go. I like the way the booty go. Baby. That thong. She had dumps like a truck. Thighs like what? Baby, move your butt. I think I sing it again. She had dumps like a truck. Thighs like what? All night long. Let me see that thong. Baby. That thong. I like the way the booty go. Baby, make the booty go all night long. Let me see that thong. Baby. That thong. I like the way the booty go. Baby, make the booty go all night long. Let me see that thong. Baby, that thong. I like the way the booty go. Baby, make the booty go all night long. Let me see that thong. She had dumps like a truck. Flies like what? All night long. Let me see that thong. Baby. That thong. All right.
We only lost 5 viewers in that whole 5-minute span. Good for you.
That's all?
I know. I was surprised. Yeah, pretty good. Oh, anyway, Matthew Hooks' ears are bleeding because it's time to preview AEW Dynamite. Matthew Hooks hates AEW, so let's. This is for you, Matthew. This is for you.
What are we doing?
We got to preview Dynamite.
Oh, why?
Live from Atlanta, Georgia's Gateway Center Arena. 8 p.m. Eastern, live on TBS and Superstation Max. Max is not the Superstation, but Max is scheduled to appear. Maxwell Jacob Friedman will be there. Hangman Adam Page will be there. He will address the audience. What's he going to say?
I'm Hangman Page. And I like the way your booty go. Baby, make a booty go.
He's going to show up in a thong. Bless Hangman. Queen Amanada takes on Timeless Tony Storm. I'm sure Mariah May will be. Oh, she's on commentary, so that'll be fun. Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita take on Buddy Matthews and Brody King. That's a meaty match. I'll enjoy that one. Will Ospreay takes on Don Callis family member. Who is it? Is it Trent?
Maybe.
I think it'd actually be very funny if they say it's Trent, but then they pull it's Trent 7. They really confuse the crowd. Come on. They need a British member of Don Callis family.
What if it's Speedball?
Ugh. I just don't like it. That's all. I just don't love. Sorry, this is funny. That Don. Shout out to Ken. I don't like it being Speedball only because it doesn't feel Speedball. Like Speedball doesn't feel like the fit. I really think you bring in Speedball as that guy that like you want to see in a good guy position. Like you got to bring him in as a baby face. Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out there. Bishop
No,
Dyer.
that's-
Is it Matthew Hook's throwing out Baron Corbin?
yeah, I don't hate that. I know you and I talked about the idea of Bishop Dyers joining AEW, and of course, we also talked about the CVV interview where he was just like, feels a little feels a little awkward for me to come in as a WWE guy when a lot of WWE guys are coming in, and he wants to, prove himself first. So
I don't know if Don Callis' family next to Lance Archer and Brian Cage is the best spot for him either. Like you're probably getting lost in that mix because Takeshita and Fletcher are the standouts of that group, and Archer and Cage kind of fill the roles you need them to fill. That's why Trent probably makes the most sense because it's just a guy who's he's gonna lose this match, right? Like,
yeah,
Will Ospreay's not losing, so I don't know about bringing somebody in like a Speedball, or I don't think it's actually them, but for argument's sake, I don't know about bringing somebody in who's just immediately going to lose. If anything, it might just be like a pawn. Like it might not even be Trent. Like Trent might actually come out at the end and attack Will Ospreay after the match, and the new member or the Don Callis family member is just throw a name like who's an ROH guy that that sometimes wins and sometimes loses.
Should be Elijah. Since he's doing
the gimmick with the Righteous. I'm having so much trouble naming ROH when I love ROH. It's the greatest show on television.
You're a really big ROH fan, I know.
A huge ROH fan. It could simply be a name who just honestly, you know what? Like you mentioned Elijah sort of jokingly, but I kind of think of that same vein. Like why not just like Vincent or Dutch but they're just a pawn who Ospreay is going to beat, and then here comes Trent after the match to attack.
Should be Jeff Cobb.
No, I don't like them losing. Like if
he's just coming in. He's just coming in for a payday, brother.
Jeff Cobb comes in as a hired gun to lose before, so what's fine.
Yeah, why not? It's Minoru Suzuki because that's what you do with Minoru Suzuki in AEW.
Nah.
I can't think of anyone else that it could be. Most people are pretty much resigned to the idea of it being Trent, and I agree with what you were saying. There was another one. Actually, yeah, so kind of tongue-in-cheek, but like Speedball versus Ospreay in AEW, it was a random TK booking or tournament match. And it's true.
Well, this is a random booking.
It is, but they're teasing something. They're teasing something from it. Whereas like this is something that like, oh, it's the debut of Speedball Mike Bailey versus Will Ospreay. And people will be like, holy shit, this is more like, oh, we have a surprise for you, and it's story driven. It would just be that. Yeah, Henry's mentioning that the Righteous have worked with Lance Archer before, so like it could be something like that. I, like you, would like it to be someone kind of a throwaway and then it turns into something, but this is all in service of getting to that tag match at Grand Slam Australia, so it's probably going to be a pretty straightforward 60-40 match. Trent gets in 60%, Will Ospreay gets in 40, gets the win, and we move on. The main event tonight, I believe, should be Ricochet and Swerve Strickland. They've been promoting it for the last few weeks. It's a good match to have. Will there be golden scissors hanging from the top of the ring or what?
No. Who wins this match? I'm curious about this.
I think Hangman gets involved at the end of this. I know he's scheduled to appear and they'll do a thing, but I think he's going to find Swerve at the end of this. I don't know what that looks like or how it is, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some interaction. As for who wins this match, man, Ricochet should cheat to win it in some way, shape, or form. I don't think Ricochet should be losing right now, given his current positioning. Yeah, Henry's saying like Ricochet wins because he's been a big loser recently. Swerve hasn't exactly been lighting the world on fire.
Swerve's been a loser too.
Yeah, it's the battle of two guys who are positioned well, but losing matches if you pull back and look at their records. But I do think Ricochet needs this right now more than Swerve. Swerve continues to be rather untouchable, and you can continue building stories with him, whereas Ricochet, you have to start building him as a as a winner bad guy. So someone who can actually move up the ranks given his position. Sean's saying Ricochet wins with the scissors.
I think Ricochet wins by cheating, and maybe he uses the scissors, and then that sets up a rematch at Revolution. I don't think they're doing it at Grand Slam, but that sets up a Revolution rematch where they do a little death match style foray.
And I'm sure that they'll announce that Collision will be Harley Cameron and Deonna Purrazzo.
No.
Sure, they'll make that announcement.
Sure. I don't need Hangman and Swerve crossing paths right now. Let them do other stuff for the time being.
Hangman was looking for Swerve last week, which is why I go with the idea that they will interact somehow. I don't necessarily think that it'll turn into a moment or not a moment maybe, but not like a segment or a talking or whatever. Just Hangman gets involved or Hangman finds his guy at the end of the night type of thing. I think there'll be some sort of interaction.
Okay. I don't know if there will be. I don't know if there will be tonight.
Who's going to team with Timeless Tony Storm when Queen Aminata and Mariah May team up on Collision coming out of this match?
Tony Storm.
Oh, and Harley Cameron. That's it. Timeless Tony Storm and Harley Cameron versus Queen Aminata and Mariah May. There's your tag match for Collision. Someone say Megan Bain. I don't think so yet. I think they want to keep Megan Bain away from this. Build her up on the outside.
Tony Storm she's going to team with herself. It's her greatest role.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She's going to bring out someone wearing a green suit, like a morph suit, and they're going to digitally impose Tony Storm's face on it. Anyway, that's AEW Dynamite. Those are the matches. If you're in Atlanta and you want to go enjoy. Jeremy,
and Ricochet and Swerve will be great. The rest of the card, all right. These are matches.
Well, they have a show to promote next week. The Collision show in Australia. Not a pay-per-view. Never a pay-per-view. Always a TV show. Don't think it was a pay-per-view. Don't get it twisted. It was always
I don't think it was ever a pay-per-view. I don't think it was ever a pay-per-view. Do I think that they maybe wanted it to be a Max exclusive type deal? Yes. I think there was potential there, but I don't know that for certain. Tony said it was always a TV special, which, okay, that's fair enough. I do think there maybe should have been a Max thing. What Tony says, and not that's his comments on things. I definitely think they had higher hopes for this because they tried to run a stadium. So that tells me right off the bat that they had higher hopes for this. They were doing media for this show just after All In. They had Darby there. They had Tony Storm there. Like they had Buddy out there doing media. I assume Buddy's got to be on this card somewhere. Like, what are we doing? We're shortly away from this show, and we don't have Buddy Matthews booked for this card yet.
I mean, they've been teasing the Okada match, weren't they?
Yeah, that makes sense if they're going to do it here. Buddy's just going to lose to Okada.
Dude, all the Australians are losing on this show except for Kyle Fletcher. It's actually hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Timeless Tony Storm could win. That's true. But
I think Tony Storm's winning.
I really wanted it to be different. It's not going to affect my enjoyment of the show, but I really think that it should have been Dude Timeless coming back in LA, but it is what it is. Like they did it. It is here. Where do you think AEW will put the Georgia Peach logo? I think it'll be coming out of the final break after, in the main event.
I love the final break is always made in Georgia.
I thought it was really nice, and then some guy comes in and says "Made in Georgia."
Oh, I get the nice version. I get the sweet little lady being like "Made in Georgia." That's the version I get.
Maybe we probably have the same one. I'm just thinking of another state.
Oh, or I'm misremembering it.
Ohio. Get out.
Rules. Dynamite's fine. It'll be all right. Yeah. It's a show. What else is on tonight? I'll be watching trade deadline coverage. That's all I care about.
Well, don't worry, because in 1 month I'll be watching WWE Evolve on Tubi. Because that'll be.
That's the thing. That's on Wednesdays. Yeah.
Jensen said he's going to be covering that, so I figured that'll be a something to talk about on the spotlight. Yeah, he said he's going to do that because WWE ID talent are on there, and
that's true.
He likes to follow those guys. And he was doing the other show. He was doing Level Up and 205 and all that, so it makes sense for him to cover Evolve. You okay?
Yes.
Okay, you had a thing there.
I got a message I was looking at. Sorry.
Oh, well, stop looking at messages because it's time to go. Anything to plug?
Dude, this show's 5 days a week now for some reason.
Are you regretting it 2 days in?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yesterday was fun. Tomorrow we'll do the show. I got to find somebody for Friday because I don't know if SB3 is available. And Joe only works 2 shows now. And so
I won't be here on Friday. Sorry, folks.
2-show Joel running from the grind already.
Sorry, I have a life.
Seems bad.
I'll be on the TNA post show on Thursday, but tomorrow. Yeah, well, actually, it will be. I'll be exhausted. Jeremy and SB3 hold it down Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tomorrow is Thursday, so go and check them out. They'll be talking about Dynamite and the trade deadline and who knows what else.
Trade deadline, who cares?
Kimmy's probably not going to do Friday. Kimmy has been exiled from all of wrestling coverage forever and ever. Amen. She can't even get Sting right. It's just the way it is. So, sorry, Kimmy. That's just it. Touching grass isn't having a life. That's true. Well, I'm touching snow because of the time of year. But anyway, for Jeremy Lambert, I'm at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, we'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Leave a thumbs up on the way out. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
All night long.